everybody. Welcome to the Rotating Tap Podcast. I'm Corey David.
I'm Corey David also.
How much? You usually smoke a lot of weed before we go on shows, but how much did you smoke today?
Not enough.
Not
enough, clearly.
Yeah, it would be enough if you forgot both of our names.
I'm Corey Chuck Ashley. I'm Steve Vanderplug.
Yeah, we're here at Bierstadt Lagerhouse today with Chuck and Ashley. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
And the dragon that lives in the back of the brew house. You're probably going to hear that once or twice. What is that, by the way, so people know?
It's
an air compressor.
Yeah, compressor for the cooler.
Okay, it would have been better if you guys...
That blue line up there.
Oh, for the glycol?
No, for compressed air.
Oh,
We're all learning things today.
I thought-
It opens and closes
I
valves
always thought
on
it
the
was
brew
a
house.
cooler.
It's an educational podcast.
Yeah.
But it's for...
Can it be for like helium balloons or a bounce house, anything like that?
I mean,
We've had a bounce house. We had like one of those blow-up slides here once, and people were like, my kid wants to go down there. We're like, sorry,
Absolutely,
this room is
adults.
21 and up. No kids in here at all, ever.
This is for adult children.
Now the world has changed a little bit, so we let people bring their kids in here because there's no fun anymore.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
normally you guys have a setup that's basically an adult playground in here, right? You have the giant cornhole,
Right behind us.
yeah.
giant beer pong, you've got the big tic-tac-toe.
Girls like that.
Did you really not allow kids in here before?
Yeah, absolutely
21 and
not.
up.
No
Hard.
way? That's
Hard.
awesome.
Slayer.
So
I
much
love
broken
that.
glass, and also nobody wants to party with your fucking
I
kid.
know.
Yeah,
You don't want to
yeah,
party
yeah.
with your kids.
Oh,
Why would I want to party with them?
Is that allowed?
Of course you can.
Okay,
You say
good.
whatever you
I
want.
was like a sailor, so I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Fuck
Fuck
this is a
kids.
comedy
Fuck
podcast.
kids. That's what we
Fuck
want.
your kid.
That's
Fuck
the
your
motto
kid.
of this
Nobody wants to party
podcast.
with
Okay, first
Everybody
of all,
knows about
they're
kids.
called crotch goblins or skin dogs. I think we should know. Skin dogs. I'm really advocating for that one, though.
So obviously you don't allow
puppies.
fur dogs in here either.
Nah,
It's
yeah,
unfortunate.
that's a Denver health code
Right.
thing. So
If
Yeah.
you had the opportunity to allow dogs but not kids, would you take it?
I'd rather have a dog in here than a kid, but even then, there's like with all the games and stuff, with like balls flying around, you're just like asking for somebody
Yeah.
to get bit or a
Yeah.
dog to get stepped on or
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is some people are just bad dog owners. What are you going to say?
Right,
I'm
right,
actually,
Some are bad kid owners too. So,
I've turned a new leaf on dogs and cats recently because cat people have gotten a bad rap for like a long time, but dog people are the fucking worst. I can't stand them because a cat, you can just leave it, go out, make plans, go for a weekend, leave some food out. It'll be
Right.
fine. It'll survive. It might even go outside the entire time that you're gone and then come back when you get home.
Or it
But a
might
dog, you've got to make plans around this thing. It attacks other people. It humps everybody. They're just way more problematic.
I'm a dog
I'm
person.
anti.
Right, and they
I
reason-
love dogs.
But the owners like reason themselves like away from it being their problem too. It's like humping your leg. It's like
I used to have
he's
a
a puppy. Just let him be.
I used to have a strict rule to never date a guy with a cat for all of those reasons you just described.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it was worse? Because you thought
Because
cat
you could,
people
like,
were the same
it's
thing?
like having a pet, but you don't actually have to be responsible for it. And like,
yeah.
I don't know. I just
I
thought,
love
like,
that.
You know, if you have a dog guy, you got to go home every night and take care of your dog.
Yeah.
You
If you're a
want
cat
that?
guy-
Dogs. Dogs
Wait,
have
so you
better
want that?
personality.
You want to go home every night and take care of the dog?
No,
Well,
but
I'm
that's like I
just
think it's
saying,
like
if you have a responsibility, you should have a responsibility.
Yeah, you know.
As opposed to
Yeah.
the cat just kind of does its own thing.
No way, man. I
Although
like to.
if that litter box fills with shit, it's gonna piss all over your stuff.
Listen, I like owning plants for 6 months and letting them die. It's just what I like to do.
You can get
I
all
don't-
the way to 6 months.
You mean- wait a minute. You mean
succulents.
plants?
Succulents only.
You mean plants last
Yeah.
6 months?
I got
Oh.
a basil plant that's it's approaching that. I got it when I moved into the.
Do you
Right.
like grow your own veggies? You have a can of green beans.
I got this from some chick I found on the internet.
yeah.
You found her on the internet,
I
or you
got a
found the
bunch of
green beans on
pickled
the internet?
stuff. Well, yeah. all of
Pickled
it.
green beans,
Yeah, I
soaking,
also have
and
pickled
LSD.
green tomatoes and some other stuff. She brought some jam, whatever. I like cleared her out her cooler. I was like, yeah, I'll take a few of these. And I was like, a couple of my employees probably want some. And then she came down with a cooler full of stuff. I was like, just give me everything you got there. Like,
Yeah, Derek Jeter used to give all the people that he slept with gift bags when they left too. You get green beans.
Pickled green beans. No
Yeah,
less.
that's good.
Yeah.
that was a
Nice.
Simpsons thing the other day. So he's like, you know, when we went to parties as a kid, we didn't get a gift bag because you just went to a party. Like,
Right.
like why do
Yeah.
you need something else?
Gift bags, at least the friends that I had, the gift bags were always lame shit anyways.
It's always like
Here's a
Chinese
kazoo.
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Bazooka bubble gum,
couple stickers,
Chip a tooth.
couple dum dums.
fake
Remember
tattoo.
Oh yeah, Pogs were the
Definitely
shit.
Pogs.
I
in
still
there.
have so much
Speaking of
box.
pogs,
I believe
they
it.
don't have Necco wafers out here, right? That's something that only we'll know
I guess I
about,
hadn't looked for them in a long time, but
think
you
they
know
do
what?
have them.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I love
Because I know
Necco
that that's
wafers.
like a New York thing. I think.
We're more of a Nilla wafer city. We like the Nilla
Well,
wafers.
those are actually cookies. Necco wafers like Tums candy.
I know,
Oh,
I kind
yeah,
of like
yeah.
them, the white ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chocolate wafers are the ones that I think were the best. They had like there was like a darker
Like
chocolate
logs
kind of
in it?
flavor. Yeah, it was pretty nice.
the
Not a big hit
difference?
in Aurora. They don't like chocolate wafers over there. But here, they're actually really good.
We are. I mean, we're approaching Halloween, but I'm excited to have a bunch of candy in my house and not have any kids show up wanting some of it. 'Cause their
Yeah,
parents
Steve
are-
actually is the guy that goes to the store to buy all the bags of Halloween candy, and they're like, "Oh, you having trick-or-treaters?" No.
Fuck that. This one year, I'm buying full-size candy bars for the kids. This one year, and I hope none of them come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually asked that, I posed that question on Facebook the other day, like, is Halloween candy still going on sale, like November 1st or 2nd? Like, asking for a friend. A fat one who really likes Reese's.
Yeah.
They'll
Who
probably
also
wait
happens
till-
to be named Huck.
Rhymes with
They
So
flock.
before we get too far along, can you guys just tell everybody what you do here?
Yeah, I'm the co-owner, head brewer.
Yeah.
here
Awesome.
at
Very
Bierstadt.
nice.
Very
Do
cool.
all the brewery things.
She makes all the beer. I sell it. I'm the GM here at Bierstadt Lagerhouse. I also bartend, or currently now with the way COVID is, I host a lot on the weekends because, let's be real, people are assholes, and so it's
Yeah.
easiest for me to be the front line of
Yeah.
defense
Can I speak
against
to your
the assholes.
manager? You are.
Yeah. Better to
You
disarm.
have upset him.
Or
so.
yeah, if they're just going to be blatantly rude, or not following the rules,
Yeah.
mask mandates and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
kind of tough. Where if my employees say something to them, they just disregard it or do whatever.
I
Better
got
to
some-
disarm an asshole with an asshole, I think is the best way to go about it.
Yeah. And so, speaking of beer shop, this is the Slow Pour Pills.
Oh, man, the best.
This is the
Beautiful.
beer that
Beautiful head.
everybody knows. It was voted best beer in Colorado.
Thank you so much.
I think like 3 years in a row by
2, 3, something like that.
brewers, so brewers or industry people. And so, a lot of times people would
Democrats.
show up and be like, oh, I only drink IPAs or something like that. It's like, well, you went to the one fucking brewery that doesn't have IPAs.
Yeah.
So good
Kind
move.
IPA.
There's this thing in your pocket. It's got the Google machine. It would have told you that. But
Yeah, people
But-
just show up to places and expect it to be like every other brewery. Like, you haven't bent to the will of the mass public yet, making
Right.
a hazy IPA? What the fuck is wrong with you?
no, we've had a couple of guest taps here and there, but over like 5 years, we've had maybe like 4 different guest tap IPAs. So we don't really tend to do it that often. We have a little sign that says Kein IPA, which is German for no IPA.
None.
Yeah.
No IPA. So, but yeah, so when people would get mad that we don't have an IPA or a pastry stout or something like that, they would usually be like, well, this other brewery, blah, blah, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I know that brewery. You know where they drink? They drink here.
Yeah.
They drink our beer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the guy who makes your favorite beer, we make his favorite beer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's
Well-
interesting because we'll get into it, but the negative reviews, we've already touched on some of the most popular subjects that you guys get complaints about. Your employees having an attitude is a major one, which who really gives a shit?
Yeah.
We did.
And then
we-
not having
We had a couple problem people for a little bit
Whatever.
too. So,
Sure.
but,
But what's interesting to
but
me
I
is
think it's
a lot of the breweries that we talk to and work with, they still wind up making a hazy IPA, a pastry stout, a smoothie sour, whatever the fuck,
Right.
just
A
to kind
seltzer.
of a seltzer to kind of appeal to the masses, or at least just kind of have something for them when they come in. You guys haven't done that shit at all. So why German beers specifically?
Lager beer, really. It's
Okay.
not. We don't even make all German beers.
Sure.
We make only lager, and that's it. So no Hefeweizen, no alt beer, no nothing like
Get
that.
that
We
shit outta
also-
here.
Get that shit out of here. And we've made like a corn lager as well. Like, so it's not strictly German,
and the
but
rice.
one with rice. Yeah, like it's the idea of the drinkability of it, and it's my favorite beer. I didn't open a brewery to make shit I didn't want to. I
Yeah.
always,
Right.
when we opened this place up, Bill and I were like, I'm never gonna have anything in a tank that I don't care about. And like, that's unfortunate. I think that some people feel that way because I think leads you in some ways to resent your customer base a little bit because they're drinking something that you don't believe in.
Yeah.
And so I only wanted to have beer that I believed in. And so that's why we only make this one kind of beer. And like we decided to go at it so hard that you can't get it better anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it must have been, because you guys have kind of stuck to your guns for a long time with having, it has to be on draft, right? And you have to do the slow pour, which is really important to the quality of the beer. But then you started canning because of COVID. I mean, what was that experience like for you guys, and has it worked out the way you wanted it to?
I'm not morally opposed to canning, never have been. I always just I like the idea of this interaction, drinking beer with friends out, and not just going home and drinking or whatever,
Oh, we shotgun with friends.
Yeah, exactly. You can shotgun with friends.
I think that kind of changed for her a little bit after she had her first hellish shower beer. Because it's a lot easier to drink the can in the shower than it is this mug. Yeah, that's going to get a lot of shower in it.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot of shower.
Yeah, I had a breakfast sandwich and a Hellas in the shower. So what? I was hungry and thirsty and cold.
So, it was just what we had to do, and it's going over really well. I mean, we could sell a lot more cans.
I know people are stoked that they can get your products
to
go.
can.
Yeah.
That's really, it's like running a JetBlue flight, canning is.
Yeah.
It's like every fucking thing costs something. You're like, oh, you want trays with that? You want a label that sticks to it? Like, it'll be 2 more cents here, 2 more cents there. Like, that's what it's like, is every little thing about it costs money.
Sure, as opposed to pouring it right out of the tank is like straight profit margin.
Correct. And then I don't want people keeping it for a long time, and there's all these other things. That I don't feel as comfortable with, as a brewer.
Yeah, but did you study in Germany, or where'd the lager influence come from?
Just drinking.
Because all right, so, I mean,
she goes to Germany a lot.
Pound for pound, one of the best lager brewers in the country. I mean, you guys are, right?
Yeah.
So you had to, you learned from some place. You had some inspiration from some spots.
So I started working at a small brewery down south called down south in Aurora, called Dry Dock.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Bill, my partner here, and my extra special man friends.
Kevin, by the way, has the number 3 time on our chug leaderboard.
Yeah, Kevin,
just so you know.
is third, so.
Also, I will say that that's part of the reason why she was adamant about not making Hefeweizen, because they made so much of it at Dry Dock. I think they never want to. They
just got burnt out.
They've made a couple collab Hefeweizens, and it sells really well.
It's such a finicky beer.
They don't, like
when
she said, she wants to make beer.
When it's perfect, it's perfect, and when it's not, it's just heart-wrenchingly
Do you do any collabs here ever?
No, we did Bagby beer from California, from Oceanside. Good friends of ours made a Czech dark lager here.
Tight.
I made a smoked beer with a German brewer. From a brewery called Freitgeist and Pizza Port and Westbound. And down here we smoked our own malt with Owlbear.
Nice.
Barbecue.
Yeah, Owlbear came and smoked it right in the
that's
parking
tight.
lot.
That's
Yeah, those, which was cool. And then done a few here.
Roush Beer was the first beer we ever had.
Yeah,
on
that was
tap.
made there though.
Made there.
But the ones we did here,
Yeah, I mean, we've done
a couple IPL type things, hoppy beer.
Yeah, I've seen you guys have a few of those, and I'm sure go over well with the hopheads, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a pleaser.
But you don't like to do it.
I like to learn something from a collaboration. I think collaboration should be organic.
Yeah.
So all these are my friends. It's really people I just want to fuck off with all day and drink a bunch of beer and talk
Yeah, that's
shit
why.
with,
That's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's why it's kind of preferred to go somewhere else, because I think that when they collab somewhere else, you get a little bit easier job. You're like, oh, I poured some malt into the hopper.
I did my part.
I need another beer.
I went and got the coffee.
It's the rules of collaboration.
I went and got
Show up
coffee,
late, drink to excess, and leave before cleanup.
Yeah.
It's the Steve Kirby rules.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
It's the same in comedy. You show up late to a show, and then you drink a bunch, and then you leave as soon as you're done.
I ate somebody's pizza that wasn't mine, wasn't part of the show's either, and then I leave.
Yeah.
And then I crush and I get out of there.
Hell yeah.
That's how it goes. Well, let's chug some beer.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Let's get our chug on.
This is our most carbonated beer, so it's not going to be the easiest
good
to chug.
choice.
Well,
but
we
it's
do
also the smallest.
We do
one,
encourage burping. We encourage belching.
it's
It's
gotta
a big
happen.
part of the show. You don't win anything, but we feel good about
That's
it.
good. That's
Yeah.
the best kind.
You win clout. Yeah, you win clout and bragging rights.
I'll be the slowest. It will take me forever. to
You
drink
would
this
be
beer.
You'll be
surprised.
surprised.
Yeah. you
Now,
have no
last week
idea.
we did have the guys from Primitive on, and they actually they filled a pour on, what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
Yeah, so they filled one of those, and Brandon drank it out of the small part of the Voss itself. And
it took him a minute and 46 seconds.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
But
So that was like a minute and 40 seconds, but it was
He never
graceful.
had to stop. He never had to
It's
stop
flat,
to like
though, isn't it?
breathe.
Yeah,
or-
it's still.
So,
Yeah, I
still.
know. It helps.
I mean, everybody's played, Power Hour. Beer
All right, so
probably
fine.
should
A whole
just-
carafe of still beer or
I don't know.
a carbonated. How many ounces is this?
10.3.
Okay, but it looks beautiful. It's a
There you go.
beautiful
It does. And
10.3.
So, like, if you see the stream in the middle, the carbonation
Right up the
still
middle.
retaining that head.
Yeah.
There's a little etching at the bottom of the glass. It's like a.
It's
a
your
perfect
face?
Nucleation point. No, it's 1932. 1932 is the year that the brew house was made originally.
Yeah.
Before they had it dismantled, shipped here, and put back together again.
I don't know. I think I'd like an etching of Chuck's face on the bottom of the glass
Hey,
instead.
the bottom of the
Only if
dunkel
we get
can.
the mullet. We have
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
the mullet
yeah.
in
Yeah,
really
the mullet.
nicely.
Yeah.
I think you need a glass with the mullet on the bottom, to be honest.
The bottom, just like hangs
Tape
off.
it on the
I
bottom.
mean, if you
of
guys
it.
make these little doily things anyway for this,
Pills
just make
Dection.
it
It's
a
Pills Dection.
Pills
Tiny
Dection?
Pills doily.
Okay. Well, then you need to make a mullet version of this, please,
the
and thank you.
mullet.
Like, it just
made
has
of hair.
It just has hair.
It's got a really Wookiee look to it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michaela.
And we're gonna talk about that michelada
What
in a
a-
second.
oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah. All right. Who
That's
wants?
also a collab with Bagby out of Oceanside.
Yeah.
Nice.
The mix.
Their
and-
recipe.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Not the beer.
I'm making a note. We're talking about that in a
Perfect.
second. All right. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Cool.
All
I
right.
thought it was a simultaneous thing.
Oh no,
It's all
we
good.
time everybody individually.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So and
So all eyes on you.
opportunity to make the chug
I'm
leaderboard.
gonna, so Dunkel, we were just talking about having my name or whatever on there. So on the bottom of the Dunkel can, it says Chuck's girlfriend because that's
Yeah.
what I traditionally drink. I don't drink too much pills. I never drink pills inside the building. Actually, I drink pills if I go out somewhere and they have pills, then I'll drink
Yeah.
it. But I pretty much never.
You're like a
drink it inside
vampire
the
for
building.
pilsers.
All right.
All right.
guess
whenever
All right, as
we
soon
go,
as
you
it
know?
touches your lips, Steve will start the timer. We're going to provide,
right.
so if you have any color commentary you want to add,
you
we
know.
highly encourage it.
Oh, wait a minute. Jokes are gonna happen. Are you guys gonna make pills
I
come
mean,
out
it
my
depends.
nose?
If you
I mean,
drink
if
it
anybody-
fast enough,
we
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 won't
did
be
have
able to
somebody
get it.
spit.
first.
We did have somebody spit up like last week. So,
All right.
Chuck, whenever you're ready, homeboy,
Chuck,
just looking
Chuck,
majestic
Chuck, Chuck.
as ever in his tie-dye
Out,
shirt.
Elbow
There
out.
you go.
Mullet
Stretch
out.
it up.
Wipe the
stretch it
sweat
up,
off.
looking
Oh,
good.
there we go.
Wipe the sweat off.
Deep
Take a
breath.
deep
Clear
breath,
some
focus.
space. And he's off.
Do it. Go.
Not
Do
that
it.
bad.
Go.
It is a tough glass to do it out of, though,
This
if
is
we're
like
being
the-
honest.
I'll be
All right.
here.
Shaboom! Yeah, that's what's up.
There we go.
All right,
I'll be
now,
here for an hour and a
in
half.
true rotating tap
Yeah.
fashion, you need to tell us the joke that you had prepared for the show.
Oh shit! I'm supposed to have a joke.
Somebody didn't read the segment list. Actually, I never sent you the segment list.
Oh,
Do you have-
Corey.
I know.
Dude, this was a rigmarole to fucking piece this episode together.
I have no jokes.
No jokes.
Do you have any stock jokes, Chuck?
I don't. I like to think I'm a funny guy, but I just, I'm also a huge pothead, so I don't remember things too much.
Yeah.
And it's funny because right now I'm like,
Well,
We can always table it and come back later.
all right.
If
Yeah,
anything
think-
comes
think
to you.
about it.
So tell us a little bit more about why the slow pour. Why do that?
It dissipates carbonation, so it's a highly carbonated beer. So it helps dissipate carbonation. I think it helps it adds a little oxygen to it, so it really like increases some of the hop dusty. I call the hop aroma dusty. And then also like it just helps to stack and build the foam, so you get that beautiful presentation when it came out. So every beer comes out that way. Every
Yeah, it
cone
looks like a
comes out
snow
that way.
cone. It's awesome.
Yeah, try to see how high we can get them before they break.
Get that reservoir tip going.
Yeah, exactly. We have a bartender that used to work here used to make vaginas on them.
Vaginas
for
or
sure.
buttholes. It was always either a vagina or a butthole.
You could get like
yeah.
the man on the boat and everything.
Well, it's like, have you guys ever seen the Instagram account Dick Latte?
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, it's so
Dick a
good.
Day.
Yeah. Chuck, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's an
I
entire
also don't.
account that's dedicated to latte art that's just dicks.
Dicks.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll
Dicks in
pull this
people's
guy up
coffees.
in a second. Yeah,
like
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's fucking great. Also, we'll hold. This one's a good one. I'll hold it up to the camera so that people can
Oh,
see.
yeah, beautiful.
That's
Oh, it's
beautiful.
majestic.
Well played.
It is.
Post that up on the Instagram as well. And the compressor just came. Nice. That's good.
That was like the Taj Mahal of wieners right there.
Yeah. Tight.
I'd be a horrible serial killer because I am always throwing dicks. It would be my signature move. Always to the right.
The Dick Slayer strikes again.
The Dick Slayer strikes again. I have a stamp that's an actual dick.
Is it a tramp stamp?
No, it's
Oh.
No, but I did know a girl who has a measuring tape on the inside of her thighs.
Whoa, nice. Must be
I don't
this
know
tall
what
to
it's
ride.
worth,
Must be this tall to ride.
That's pretty solid.
It's good to know that.
That's why to show the grandkids.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, have I ever showed you this, kid?
I
Hey,
thought-
little Billy, come here.
I'm just upset because my tattoo artist said it was one of a kind.
Well, yours is on the backside, so it's a little different. Ashley,
Yeah,
You ready to
I
rock?
think- I guess
ready?
so.
I know you said you're a little hungover today,
I'm
so
fine.
we
I'm not hungover
appreciate
like that. I'm
not
just
that hungover.
Slow moving this morning.
I was drinking beer at 5 in the
Micheladas.
morning, so I'm feeling it a little bit, but I'm getting into it.
It takes me so long to drink this.
Chugging that got me warm for like a second or two.
yeah, that's why we make you do it.
Get the beer sweater, you get the meat
Loosen
sweats
you
a little
up.
bit.
Say something you regret it about some of your customers later, Get you a little toasted.
There you go. All right, I'm ready.
Whenever you want to rock and roll, girl.
You're ready.
It's going to take me a long time.
It's okay, if you want to use your straw, you can do that too.
Oh, no, that would be worse, I think.
Yeah,
Although
put
I
a
did
crazy
see
straw in
chicken
this
straw.
thing.
All right, I'm ready. Ready?
Okay. Don't want to break your focus. She's got her hand up the whole time just so we don't say anything, but now she's making rabbit
Not a
ears.
bad
That's
time.
fun.
Tears
It's like
filling
shadow
up in the
puppets.
eyes already.
Yeah, she is upset. She's not happy with us. She just gave Steve a dirty look, and she's now wondering why she's here.
She's praying right now.
she's not actually
literally-
doing way better than she
Okay,
thought she was going
okay.
to.
You
Oh, it's
actually,
so cold.
Respect.
you beat a lot of people.
It's a forceful burp and it's immediate after you chug that beer.
You had a few
I
less
think that's
ounces
the
to
first time
drink.
I've ever
but-
chugged a pills.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I have either. I'll tell you what, the second half, if you just gulp it, the second half goes down
Oh
pretty
yeah,
easy.
absolutely.
So while we got you all gassy and watery-eyed, can you tell us when did this come to fruition? Because it's the beer that people know you the best for, but I mean, what was the lineup like when you guys first started? Was this a part of it? Was this kind of the whole deal?
We always knew we were going to just make 3 beers, basically. Pils, Dunkel, Helles. And
I love that business plan, honestly. I'm a huge fan of that.
It's funny because that's one of the complaints you were talking about, complaints that people have.
People get upset
That's
about
a
it,
huge
yeah.
one. They only got 3 beers,
No,
and they're not even that good.
Have you ever
It's
been to Raising Cane's?
hey, fuck you, buddy.
still coming.
Have you ever been to Raising Cane's?
The chicken place?
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
But all
it's-
they do is chicken
but
fingers, right?
That's it. And so if you're to show up and you're like,
want a
oh,
burger."
I want bone-in, give me a whole bird, and they're gonna be like, we don't do that here.
There
You-
are 15 breweries within a mile of here. If you
Right.
want something else,
Right,
I'll have
yeah.
something else. I don't.
This Raising Cane's makes spaghetti if you want anything.
But yeah, it's kind of funny
Why?
though, because you'll get people here, and they'll be with a group, and they'll be like, yeah, well, they want, they want something else, or my husband wants an IPA, or my wife wants a fruity wheat beer or something like that, and they'll be here and they'll have a beer or two, and then they'll be like, where should we go? And we'll send them to Epic or OMF or Ratio or Odell or somewhere right within a couple of blocks. And it's funny though, because they usually end up back. I'm not saying that they don't like those. They go to a couple places out there, but then they end up back yeah, no, I want to drink. I want to drink. I still want to drink this. They're pretty much done drinking anyways. That person who wanted something else, I want to drink. I want to get a liter this time or something.
Yeah.
And that's when you tell them, no thanks, but no thanks. We don't respond to X's like that. You left.
Come in and buy a liter.
You thought your life would be better after us? No fucking thank you.
Oh, you have money? Welcome back. I missed
Nobody
you.
wants to see their ex happy, right?
No, no one does.
So, I mean, I love the hop flavors in this are a little bit more earthy, a little more herbal, not super spice, and then you get a lot of great raw grain flavor from it. At least I do, anyway. I don't know. What were you did you model this after anything in particular, or was it just
No,
you
it's
tinkering with
It's not even really that. I mean,
pills.
it's just it's kind of a recipe that Bill's made forever since he's been a brewer, and we have some of the more. With the brew house we put together, with the brew we have now, it's a lot more little specialized technique-y things that we do to it. But it's one malt, one hop. That's it.
It's awesome.
What are those?
So Barca Pils, which is an heirloom variety malt from Wireman in Bomberg, and then Hallertown Middle Brew,
Okay,
which
cool.
I think is slightly lemony, Earthy, a little bit grassy, but like not too much of anything. It's a noble hop. So
yeah, so not like a lot of sauce, pepper kind of flavors, and things like that. Yeah. Cool.
And so, if you've had like a dunkel somewhere else, it's usually a little bit sweeter. It has like dried fruit notes in it, where ours kind of doesn't, because it also has some of that malt in the beer. Kind of dries it out a little bit. It crisps it up a little bit more than a lot of other dunkels. So like, Bierstadt Dunkel is my favorite beer on the earth. Like,
I know you usually always. I see you with a liter of it every time I see you.
Yeah.
It's like it's pretty much all I drink, and I'll have somebody else's Dunkel, and usually I'm like, it's one of those like I just wish I had a Bierstadt Dunkel right now.
Yeah.
And some people are doing other things with theirs too, and adding chocolate and stuff like that. You'll never see anything like that here because they follow by the German purity laws, like with the beers made in-house at least.
We're 3 malt, 2 hop, 1 yeast brewery, basically.
Yeah. Speaking of German purity laws, all right, what's the deal with the michelada?
Hey, you can add stuff afterwards. You can do a beer mosa, too.
You can do anything afterwards. Michelada. So a couple years ago, we went to a Pilsner Fest in L.A., which was dope.
LA.
Yeah, it was dope because like
Ever heard of
nothing but pilsners. All the brewers, that's all they do is drink that all day, and then we go drink scotch afterwards, of course, naturally.
Sounds like a great night.
Yeah, so we're all a little hungover the next day, and we're hanging out with our friends, the Bagbies from Oceanside.
Sea level too, so you've got to drink scotch.
Yeah, you got to drink a lot of it. You're hungover, even though you're not drunk. It's weird. But
the
next day,
sound like an old tycoon family. The Bagbies.
The Bagbies.
Los Angeles.
It is the Bagbies.
Go down to the Bagby plantation.
He used to be the head of all the pizza ports and is like super pretty famous guy, won all the awards.
Of all the
Alpha
what?
King.
All the what?
Pizza port.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you said pizza boards, and I was like,
pizza port.
There's a board of like pizza owners?
I hope so.
That
I
would
wish
be-
there was.
It's called the
Can I be
Illuminati.
on that?
Shut down Domino's by now, right? Like,
Yeah.
If there was somebody voting on that shit, like, no.
We were just
Seriously, stop giving people diarrhea.
But we were out and about, and we like went to this Mexican restaurant after we got kicked out of a bar or kicked out of a breakfast place because it's LA and we're not LA enough for them, you know.
Yeah.
Even though we were drinking and eating, they're like, "You got to go now."
All
we're
you
like,
have to do is stick your chin.
Here.
"Yeah,
Put your
exactly."
chin a little higher. Put your chin a little higher, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you belong."
Yeah.
Right. I thought this was a free country. All right.
Sorry,
Anyways.
is my cash not green?
Jeff got one, and I was like, "Damn, that actually looks pretty good." Like I never drink those.
So what
and we
is
ended
it?
up drinking it. So it's a michelada is beer and like a tomato juice concoction. So when we got back, we were like, we should put this on both
Some
our
hot
menus.
sauce and
So it's like Valentina, tomato juice, a little bit of Yugo, like the flavor stuff.
Magi,
Yeah, Hugo Magi.
Umami.
Pepper, tons
texture
of lime juice, and it's like just salty and like it's got tagine rim.
I'm just waiting for you to put some bacon, some pickles in there.
Yeah.
Some of those, like, I thought it was
green
Fucking
bean.
one of them green beans.
Yeah,
in
toss
there.
some green beans in there, son.
Coffee's open.
You dirty
It definitely-
green
I don't know
bean
if it
slut,
needs
you.
more.
Why not open this one either?
All right, give me that pickle jar. No,
Don't spill the beans.
Come on,
Don't
Chuck.
spill
You're
the
on
beans.
camera.
I got
You're on
one at
camera
home.
right now, buddy.
Can't get it open.
Tap it on my thing.
Can't get it up or can't get it
This
open.
chick who did this, she's got the kung fu grip. She
Wow.
really- there you go.
That G.I. Joe Kung Fu grip. Well, before we move on too far, what is your favorite shitty pizza chain? Is it Papa John's? Is it Pizza Hut? You Little Caesars
I worked
people?
for Papa John's for a really long time.
That's not
and I would
surprising.
like slather myself in garlic. That garlic butter.
Yeah.
That shit is
Yeah,
delicious.
that
but
shit-
the
That's actually
pizza
why
is
he got
terrible,
fired.
Right, that's the only reason that they're still in business is because of the
You know,
garlic
both my
butter.
parents used to work at Pizza Hut. That's how they met.
Really?
Back in like high school.
Oh, what a great, weird, not love story anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Spilling the bean
Throwing it
juice.
everywhere.
We grew up
That's
on
pickle
Little
brine.
Caesars, but then we had a ritual every 420 in high school where we would take the day off and we'd go to Pizza Hut lunch buffet. So that'll always have a near and dear place to my heart. The
no
dessert
CC's
pizzas.
pizza.
No,
Oh,
we never
CC's.
really had. We never had CC's in New York.
No, but wait a minute. What was it? It was like Papa Gino's or no, not Papa Gino's. Gino's? What's the one that's like kind of down the street from Beeville Diner?
Oh, that's Papa John's.
No. There's
Sal's.
one like on the corner.
There's
Papa
It was a
Gino
little mom and
is
pop
Papa
place. They
John's.
always had cute chicks working the counter.
Gino and Joe's and Sal's Pizza.
Gino and Joe's. That's what it was.
You know, it's that small mom and pop. Papa John's.
Papa,
If I gotta,
Papa
let me try one
Giorgio.
of these beans. So this is the first for the podcast. We're sampling green beans, pickled green
Pickled
beans.
garlic dilly pickled
That
green beans.
Chuck brought in his own jar.
I thought about doing a fun game, which was going to be taking the pickled garlic and cutting up cloves of regular garlic and then having us play garlic roulette.
That would have been great.
Raw garlic.
Thanks for telling me about all the Christmas presents you thought about getting me, Dad.
I don't know that I necessarily.
My dad does that too. He's like, yeah, I sent your card, and I'm like, do you even have my new address?
That's
He's
a classic
like,
move.
I didn't send a card.
Classic
Like,
move.
well, I got a new address.
Listen,
Dad.
it's in the mail, but it's dated after my birthday, so.
Hey, he's probably gonna see this, but I'll get mine after he gets his, probably.
Now,
what do you think?
I didn't come in here having like.
I didn't come in here to eat green beans.
I didn't come in here to eat green beans, and my palate is probably a little off because I did smoke some weed right before I walked in the door.
Oh, you don't
Yeah,
say.
but don't you smoke weed before you walk in every door?
A lot of times outdoors
That's
too.
kinda how I do it.
Yeah.
Highly
He
likely.
used to work with one of our great regulars here who
Chris
buys
yeah.
a lot of beer.
Christopher. Yeah.
Chris is a great dude. He bought so many kegs. He was keeping up with Alan, who works here and gets his beer for free. He was keeping up with Alan with how many kegs they were drinking during quarantine, like during like full shutdown when nothing was open.
Oh yeah.
He's got a little kegerator. Chris has a kegerator on his back deck. I went over there and he made me and Alan tacos, and we did a couple dabs, and that's when I got real quiet.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
3 dabs in, I had nothing else to say after that.
Pretty
Yeah,
standard.
somebody. I remember my roommate works. She manages a dispensary, and I was talking to her about dabs one time, and she's like, "Yeah, if you smoke dabs for the first time, you won't be able to do anything for the rest of the day." I'm like, "Well, I can do that already. Like, I don't need dabs to, to
I'm
get
capable.
involved."
That's every Monday.
Yeah, I'm fully capable of doing nothing all day.
I haven't done a dab. The last dab I did, there's a big comedy festival they do here in Denver every year, except for COVID year. It's called High Plains. They bring out some of the best comics from all over the country. It's easily one of the top 5 festivals in the entire country for comedy. They had a little studio beforehand, and I did a dab in there. And I couldn't breathe for like an hour and a half, and I had to go to the green room and sit in the corner by myself. Well, all these people that I want to be like bullshitting and getting to know are here. They're in town. They're famous. They want to get to know us. And I'm just like in the corner like, oh, am I still alive?
Who's got an
These
albuterol
are the stories
inhaler?
that make me never want to do that.
Yeah,
Right,
I know.
I
I won't ever
good.
do one ever again.
I like all kinds of drugs. I don't need to do that.
I think I'm too fragile for stuff like that.
I mean, I carry a pen in my
Carry a
pocket at
ring.
all times.
Yeah.
That can be ripped at any moment. It doesn't hurt as much as a dab does.
Well, I got a
Or
weird vibe
too
off
much.
of going to a dab lounge. There's one down in Colorado Springs, and everybody has their own like Coleman
got shut down.
like butane
Again?
tank. You know what I mean? That's like you would go
They
camping
were doing
with.
late night parties.
Oh,
The
yeah.
old, the young, and everybody's just like. I'm like, this is crack. This just looks like
It's got
crack.
a very meth vibe to it when you're doing it
you
like
gotta
that.
bring a
Hey, I wonder if
blowtorch.
that's what that guy was doing in my house.
Was there a spoon involved?
This
light
is a
bulb?
really weird story, and she should
So-
tell it. I'm gonna go get us shots of BFL.
Oh, that sounds great. Can I grab a Hellas, please?
Try one of these
Thank you.
beans. So to
Okay,
go back
try
to
one
the
of these
beans,
beans.
the beans are good. I was not ready for a garlic-soaked green bean in the
Yeah.
morning.
So I went
Jesus.
on.
Got a squirter.
We went camping, and we came back. We left on a Saturday. We came back Monday. Walk in the back door. I have 2 dogs, 2 big dogs, a 170-pound
See, you
Irish
don't always
Wolfhound,
have to be taking care of
and
your dogs
like
constantly.
an 80-pound Great Dane. But anyways, we walk in the back door. We have like street-facing door and a back door. We walk in, there's this stuff on the table, like cigarettes, like druggy paraphernalia stuff,
Oh,
like
yeah.
shoes, a wallet, undies hanging in my like. I live a 3-minute walk from here.
It sounds like my college dorm.
Undies
Nice.
hanging in my like bathroom and socks. Like this homeless dude
Just went into your house.
just came into my house and like
Shit.
chilled, made a cup of coffee. He didn't steal anything or. This is
just-
like 3 weeks ago too.
Just wanted
this
to feel
is,
like he had a
This
home
is
for a
3
little
weeks
while.
ago. This is like 3
Oh.
weeks ago.
Fresh.
He left his wallet. He left his shoes. He left everything.
She wasn't there when you got home. He was gone.
No, he was gone. So the story gets better because we got here and Deanna, one of our bartenders, and Kira, or like start to tell them the story. They're like, "Holy shit, dude! On Sunday, this dude walks up with no shoes and a Slow Pour Pills T-shirt on, like
No.
asking if we have
fucking way.
happy hour because I live a 3-minute walk just straight down the street.
Yeah, that's
Asking if we have happy hour. We don't. He calls us un-American for not having happy hour, and he just like walks the opposite direction.
I mean, that is pretty un-American.
the
of you.
marketing works though.
What is this,
I don't know.
He
communist
saw the
China?
Bierstadt shirt.
I
and
don't
was
know
like,
if he
"I'm
knew where he
gonna
was.
go."
He had no shoes on. Like, and I don't think he ever came back. But I have his wallet, his shoes,
Do you think he'll listen to this podcast?
I don't know. His name's Frank Smith, literally.
Oh, Frank.
That
Frank,
sounds
if you're
fake
out
as fuck.
there, buddy.
Anyways, I'm just really glad he didn't steal anything. Or whatever.
Yeah.
He just made himself a cup of coffee, probably wearing my husband's underpants.
On his face.
And his t-shirt.
He's wearing your husband's underpants on his face.
Showed up with the shirt on. Anyways, yeah, it was just a couple weeks ago. Freaked me the
Wild.
Freaked me
Yeah,
the
that's
hell
so
out.
Here with the shirt on, and like the people at the door are like, "Gee," so I'm the GM, but I'm like co-GM with Deanna, and yeah, she showed up wearing the shirt, no shoes, because he left them at their place. And she's like, "He can't come in with no shoes."
This guy sounds like Jimmy
"What the fuck?
Buffett.
He's
By the way,
wearing a Bierstadt shirt."
He didn't even take any of our booze or anything. Didn't even take my
Weird.
drugs. Like, they're all there. He took a pipe out. I have this little Cancun, like, penis pipe. You know, it's like a little miniature penis. And that's what he smoked out of.
Hell yeah.
Also, she loves like penis, like besides the penis stamp.
I
you
love
also
it.
buy like penis art every time you go to California.
Oh, yeah, I have like a
that, right?
ceramic.
Oh,
Like,
that's great. So
Yeah,
you're a big,
dicks.
so you're a big fan of dicks.
I'm
That's
a
great.
big fan of dicks.
Huge
Yeah.
fan of dicks. I like what they've done.
I always strategically place them in the back of my like Zoom things, like it's a flower vase.
Yeah.
With a penis.
Yeah.
So a dick tramp stamp wouldn't have been wildly far off.
I mean,
Right.
perhaps not. I already have my astrological sign. Okay, I think I'm good
Yeah,
on
that,
the
that
tramp
says it
stamps.
all. Yeah.
18 years old, you know.
I like the sounds of this guy. He was no shoes,
So this is the
slow pill
BFL.
shirt.
This is the BFL.
yeah, he was,
this
he
is
was
literally
definitely a
just
little
means
dirty
big
looking.
fucking lager.
Big fucking lager. It doesn't really have a style.
It's 12%. It's kind of like barley wine, I guess.
Yeah, I'm getting like a ton of sweetness out of the nose.
We did like a double mash, so we mashed, made our Meriton basically, and then we used the wort from the Meriton and mashed in again on top of it.
Yeah.
Like making coffee with coffee.
Is that similar to like an ice
Yeah.
box? Is you literally freeze it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You
So
freeze
we're
it.
gonna
Which they're gonna
freeze.
do that,
We're gonna
too.
freeze.
Are you
some
gonna
of
do
this
an ice
to
box?
This.
To this. We're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
freeze
to
this.
this? That's already 12%.
Sure.
Wow.
So it's literally going to be beer schnapps at that point.
Yeah.
Anyways, we just got this.
Tell
swell
us
here
when.
for us.
Tell us when that's done.
Yeah.
I need some ice box in my life.
So
Yeah.
it comes
One
in
of
a
those.
16-ounce can. We sell it as a single can to go. It's the only one we do that with.
Kind of a dick move to sell
Because-
this in 16.
I mean, if
It's
you
to
bought,
share.
yeah, I mean, if you bought a
It's a good one to
4-pack
share.
and you tried to drink all that, you'd be dumb, first of all.
Oh,
but
yeah, I drank one of these actually with Jonesy. He sat there. I gave him one shot out of it, not even that full, like a little bit lower. And then I did one a minute. Like I had him time it, and I did one a minute on my drink a liter with Chuck Sunday thing. And no lie, like 15 minutes later, all of a sudden I was like,
Yeah.
like from one fucking can of beer. But
Yeah.
that's because it's like 3 cans of beer in one.
Thank you for sharing. So this, we're doing a shot, yeah?
Yeah, it's beer shot.
I will not be able to.
We never
We saw
do.
your chugging ability.
Beer
It was
shot.
better.
So
than
you'll
you-
never see our beer in these taster glasses except for when we're doing beer shots at
shots.
BFL.
I think they call it a safety meeting.
yeah, secret. Nobody else. Look at us, other people in here.
Well, because we were talking about
Super
you were talking
secret
about the
safety
glassware
meeting.
before too.
Yeah.
So
so
like,
good.
if you see our beer anywhere, it's in that glassware.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna carry
You
your
guys were
beer
real
somewhere
specific
else.
about doing the slow pour in the Pils glass. But
mean-
is there any? Everything else seems that you can do it in like the Stiegel, like the Stein glass.
Well, the
or-
Hellas goes in that.
Stein.
Dunkel has
You got
like
any
a.
boots? You got
Yeah.
You got a
We
couple
do.
boots?
We haven't been doing them for
COVID.
quarantine because people shouldn't really be sharing and
Right,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And you can drink a 2-liter boot, but it's 2 of these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just get 2
that's
of
a
these.
mess.
You know what I
Alan
mean?
made a bachelor party. Got a whole bachelor party to each get a boot. One day,
Yeah,
was
I mean,
awesome.
we've-
They're like
we've
6
had it.
dudes with each a boot.
It was very tight.
I miss being able to share them because, like, when it was somebody's birthday or something, we do it. The first time we got the boots, I think, was a
mean, as-
Maybach release, and
As
the
long as you
Maybach
don't
was like
share it
8%.
with Trump, I think you're fine.
And so, rather share it with his wife, right? Hey yo, floatus my potus.
I mean, I love the Oktoberfest. That was the beer that I started with. I mean, so do you guys? Most that I see are usually like a fest beer, so typically a little lighter in body, Pilsner-esque, but with caramel malt notes, or a little maltier, heavier body, which I would kind of classify more of as a Marzen. Like,
Yep.
you guys, are you trying to go for one or the other?
That's Meriton.
Ours is a Marzen, yeah.
Okay.
That's Meriton.
They made a fest.
They called
Last year,
Wiesen. So
Wiesen.
Fest beer is
Yeah.
Wiesen. Wiesen just means meadow. And it's what they serve now at Oktoberfest. They used to not serve it back. I want to say like the 70s is when they switched over from Meriton to the lighter colored
Yeah.
Wiesen beer, which I don't like very much. They tend to be quite a bit sweeter.
Yeah.
That was
I
the
mean,
collab you did with Green Bench, right?
No, that was a Weizenbock,
Oh,
which is a
Weizenbock.
Hefeweizen Bock beer. We did a Wiesn with Westbound and Down.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
The fall is just the best time of year for beers in general because it's Oktoberfest season. If you are a hop brewer, then you're using harvest beers, or you're making harvest beers with like fresh hops, wet hops, all that stuff. And then there's pumpkin beer, people. For those that have you ever been tempted to do a gourd beer?
No, but
gourd
when I was
She likes coffee beer. That's the only weird beer you'll catch her drinking.
But when I was
have you done that before?
No, I won't do it here.
No.
A lot of people make really good ones. Novel Strand has a really good one. So does Westbound and Down has a really good one.
You know what sucks is I lived over by where Novel Strand is. I lived 2 blocks away from Novel Strand for 4.5 years, and I moved out the week before Novel Strand opened.
That's too bad.
I would have been there all the fucking time.
Yeah, they're super,
now Good
super
River,
nice people.
We're trying to get them
River's
on the
right
pod
over
too,
there.
for sure.
Yeah.
So
Good River's over
no
there
gourds
too,
for you, no pumpkin stuff.
I went to a pumpkin beer festival, though, back in 2012. I flew to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and went to a pumpkin beer festival. That's how nerdy I was back then.
I mean, that's,
yeah? Did you like any of them?
I don't know. I got fucking wasted. So.
I like pumpkin beer, but that sounds
Southern
like
Tier
a nightmare.
Pumpkin.
Oh, that one is... Actually, the worst one is the Castile one. Have you ever had that one?
No.
It smells like a buttered yam. It's so foul.
Gross.
It's like... I used to work at a beer bar.
I want to eat it.
I used to work at a
Freeze
beer bar
it.
and you pour it and
Slice it up.
smell it in like the drain. Like that's how strong it was.
Buttered yams is another
Well,
improv
pumpkin
trope.
is just straight up. It's so sweet that it's literally like a slice of pumpkin pie. You can share a bomber of that with some people and be fine with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they all kind of taste the same to me for the most part.
They're very
Like,
heavily spiced.
It's all Old Spice. It's all like Old Spice.
Well, it becomes
It's
a
all
Von Miller without
deodorant.
a shirt. It's
It's all straight deodorant.
Two Roads had one. I remember I lived in Rhode Island before I moved out here.
Oh, the Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary's Baby, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like heavily. It wasn't super heavily pumpkin or super heavily spiced. Like those notes were in there, but it wasn't like.
pumpkin doesn't really have
Fuck
a
you in
flavor.
your face.
And I think they're that one in particular is aged on rum barrels.
All right, so that's probably why I like it, 'cause I drink more rum than a
another
pirate.
element to it that I think is unique and fun, which is I think that's pretty great. But so you guys do stuff outside of the 3 beers normally? It's just like seasonal stuff. I think my box are one of my favorite styles.
You and 3
in
other
general.
people.
I know, it's super niche.
Which is why
That
we
is so
don't make
true.
them anymore.
And,
I know,
and
but
then
they're
this
so
year,
fucking good.
This year though, she made the corn lager.
Yeah.
A collab with like Finn's Manor, who had gone down to Mexico, and
We
we
imported
did it for
some
Cinco
heirloom
de Mayo.
Oaxacan corn,
Nice.
and we ground it ourselves and did like a gelatinization mash and everything. It was
right. And so that was a Cinco de Mayo release, which my Bach was always a May 1st release. So it's like to release 2 light lagers when we already have 2 light lagers.
I know.
I don't think I'll ever make
It's
my
kind
Bach
of, yeah,
again.
she says that. I think at some point it could happen again, but it will be a long time.
I get
always
it, but
tell people.
I'm just saying, like, it's one of those
Ours
ones
is
that I
really
love.
good too.
Do you
Ours
guys
was
have,
really good.
Do you guys
It-
have obscure styles that like you really love? Like, what's a style that you just
I
fucking
love smoked beer.
Yeah.
You love it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it too. That's
It's
one of
hard to
those
sell,
things
though.
though that like you can't fucking.
I need to
sell.
do a
had-
collab with like 5 other breweries, and everybody takes like 4 kegs.
I mean, honestly, I guess for me, my smoked beer experiences seem to be like more of somebody putting liquid smoke into the beer itself.
Yeah.
And that shit was disgusting.
It can be.
I think that if it was like an actual smoked beer, I might enjoy it.
Right.
But my experiences with the smoked beers I've had, and I do think it was all liquid smoke.
Smoked beer is also kind of like an acquired taste, and I will say that you need more than like a sip. When we had them on, people would ask for a sip, and like I said, we don't even pour into these glasses. So if you want a sip of something, we grab you. If you want a sip of Hellas, we grab you a Hellas glass, and we pour you a little fucking sip in that. If you want, we don't do it with pills. We're like, fucking just buy one, dude. They're not that
10
big.
ounces,
It's
10
only $4. A
ounces.
taster
commit.
somewhere else will cost you $3 or $4 anyways. It's $4. Just buy one.
Yeah.
And you need the whole experience. You need the slow pour. You need all that to go down. But like with the smoked beer, I would always pour them at least 2 sips so they could take the initial sip, because your mouth at first is like, whoa, because it's so different, and it's definitely, especially here with the lagers and the lighter, easy drinking, it's definitely like in your face. So it takes a second for your mouth to acclimate. So you take a little sip, you sit there for a second, you let it mellow out, take another sip, and that's when you really taste the beer. And it's funny.
It's like barbecue, man. It should be sweet and smoky.
Yeah,
It should have these
yeah.
2 balancing layers, and like There's two really well-known
the darker
smoke
ones
breweries. Yeah, there's two really well-known smoke breweries in Bamberg called Schrenkela.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. That Schrenkela Marsden is like the best.
It's great.
Is
And like
so fucking
Special is amazing too. That's my more favorite one. I think it's a little bit more balanced.
Tight.
But there's a lot of smoke that everybody thinks it's too much. You actually need a lot of smoke malt in order to make it seem like it's less. Because if it's just a little bit, then it kind of comes off as an off flavor instead of like a flavor of the beer.
Yeah.
So
What's the one where it's like they make a Helles and they don't even put any smoke malt in
Schrenkela.
it? Schrenkela, is that place?
No, Special.
Everything Schrenkela does is Rauch, right?
Same with Special.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so they make a beer that it doesn't have any smoke
it
malt
just has
in it,
yeast
but it's
harvested from.
And it's going through the same like load in and stuff like that, probably picking up some of the flavor.
So
there,
and they
right?
only use the yeast from the smoke beer, and that's what creates the smoke in it, which I think is pretty cool and subtle.
Because it's still pretty smoky for not having.
They smoke their own malt. I stayed at Special, and you can stay up in the rooms up above the brewery and smell them smoking the malt. It's dope.
Wow.
That's pretty sick.
Brew days are pretty good here too. I think when you guys wasn't it a brew day when you guys did the comedy thing last?
No, I don't know. We were outside the whole time, so I can't.
Yeah,
but you can still smell it. I mean, I do miss that smell. I've worked at two different breweries, and I miss the smell of walking into the brewery and just like on a brew day and just getting wort.
Yeah.
The humidity I could do without, but yeah, the smell of it is like it's beautiful.
I know.
It's like baked bread. It's amazing.
We made Doppelbock on Friday, so it was.
Is that the next?
Doppelbock will be out on Friday, you said?
No, we made it on Friday.
Oh, you made it on Friday.
A long time.
It'll be a while.
It'll be Christmas time.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long do you guys usually? I know it always varies from beer to beer,
Yeah,
but do you have
I'm
a
not
set
gonna-
lagering time on most stuff?
Usually everything is from grain to glass, 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
So brew day to serve day.
So like 2 weeks to ferment and then 6
Yeah.
to 8 to lager.
I see a few barrels over there.
Wine.
Wine?
So there's a winery.
Oh, that's the winery next door.
winery,
Okay.
I don't put anything in barrel. I'm not
Yeah.
bulldogging shit.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
fucking
I was
jockeying
gonna
barrels
ask.
around.
Yeah, we
Hell
got a
no.
fesser that looks like a barrel, but it's just a vessel that we pour out
And
of.
that used to be ciders over on that side, right?
There's C-squared ciders used to be there until
totally
January
separate
1st.
businesses.
So actually,
Yeah, a lot of people were like, no,
reviews.
we were there.
A lot of reviews seem
I'm very
to think
confused.
that it is the same.
They're very
Yeah,
confused, and people are like, no, we used to come here when it was C-squared. It's like it was never C-squared. Trust me, I've been here the whole time, and it never was. They were a production facility, so they made cider. The Rack House was their tasting room. They had their own before Rack House opened for like a month or two, and then when they opened, the Rack House was the tasting room for Bierstadt and C-squared. So that's where some of the confusion comes from.
Okay.
Bierstadt and Rack House were always, like it's all the same owners.
Yeah.
So when they left, we instead of promoting Rack House and Bierstadt and trying to brand two different brands, because I do the social media and a lot of the marketing and stuff like that. And so instead of trying to do two brands and confusing the shit out of people that are already confused with the C-squared thing, we decided to dissolve the Rack House name, which had been around because they used to be in Stranahan's distillery. Rack House used to be over there.
Okay.
They're closed for a year and a half, and that's when they developed this business plan to do this. And they developed it with C-squared to be, roommates, but essentially they're roommates. And like
somebody
a lot of people.
was doing their
We used to play all those
dishes.
games. We used to play all those games at C-squared. It's like, fuck you. Do you know how much time and effort I spent in making that room and making all that shit go down?
You don't get to just
They don't
smoke
get the
out of my
credit.
penis pipe.
You don't just
You have to
smoke it.
ask.
You gotta buy the penis pipe. You gotta buy the weed.
Quit
gotta buy
taking my
something.
clothes.
Ashley, you said
Leaving your shoes everywhere.
you said your
Can you put the
niche.
shoes outside?
No,
I would have put them out front, like outside the window or
I
something.
don't want him to come back. I don't think.
I mean, maybe just for his shoes. The guy doesn't look like he could afford it.
I mean, if you prorate his rent, he might be able to afford it.
Around here, you
Rhino.
never know.
Not
Yeah.
in Rhino.
Yeah, that's right now. Prices are at a premium.
No. I live in Cole, and it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I ride my bike to work Cole. It's just like on the other side of like Blackshirt.
Yeah. I like that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, off of Bruce Randolph and stuff. I live like a few blocks from Corner Ramen, which is not a bad gig.
Yeah.
It's just steamed buns. Pork belly buns? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you can throw some of these green beans into your ramen.
Speaking of green beans,
There you go. Yeah, shit, I need some more too.
Chuck, do you have an obscure style that you really love?
Of beer.
Yeah. No, of women, men, whatever. Movies.
I like men, women. No.
What's an obscure style?
So, Before I moved here, so like I said, this is my favorite beer. This is my baby, my baby girl, my girlfriend. No, no Jenny, thank you. Although Empire had one that went pretty well with
a cream on nitro is pretty fire.
They're gone now though.
I know.
Well, I think they might still be in New York City. I know they closed the Syracuse one and the other one.
I think they might be donezo, but shout out to Tim, he was the head brewer over there.
I used to love that place. So they had a beer there. Well, their Hef I loved. So I used to drink a lot of wheats. They also had the White Afro. So I used to drink.
Makes a comeback on the podcast again.
Well, I used to drink a lot of wheat beers. Middle Ages, Swallow It, their Jester's Nectar, which is like a double wheat. I was wearing a Middle Ages shirt yesterday, and like I had 3 people be like, "I've been there." I was like, "What the fuck? What are you doing in Syracuse, New York?" But anyways, so I used to drink a lot of those before I worked here, and now I only drink this. So it's funny, like when somebody's like, "Yeah, you got anything like Blue Moon?" It's like, well, no, we're a lager house is what we have, and their friends would be like, just get a Helles, and I'd be like, you probably want a Dunkel.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're like, oh, I don't like dark beer. Like, well, you can close your eyes and drink it, and then see if you like it. If that's what you need to do. I'm telling you that I work here,
turn the lights
and
off.
I know about this beer a lot because I work here, and I have. So I'm telling you that this is closer to that flavor profile than that is. Just because it's a light beer doesn't mean it's the same. You know what I mean? An IPA could look like that. Doesn't mean it's going to taste like it. So the sweeter malts and so it's funny because like 98% of the time they're like, oh, you were right. I was like, oh, the guy who works at the brewery knows about beer, does he?
Right. You hope so.
Yeah. Because for most people, it's black and white, right? It's either light or dark, and they only associate dark flavors with roasty, coffee, chocolate.
Right, stouts, porters. And I don't like, and that's my point to them when they say, I don't like those. I'm like, I don't like stouts and porters either. This is what I drink. You know what I mean? Just do me a favor and at least try it before you just do it.
Yeah.
And I bet you, and they're like, yeah, no, you know what you're talking about.
In terms of obscure styles, I'm very excited to bring up this one, and it's not that I necessarily love it. It's that it makes Corey's blood boil, but Yingling is putting out another collaboration.
Chocolate Hershey's. Yeah,
Hershey's
I saw that
chocolate.
shit.
Fuck Yingling. Fuck Yingling. Yingling sucks. It's a stance that I've had on this podcast since we started.
But
Michaela.
We're going to be getting Yingling here locally soon.
It's the guy who does our HVAC.
We just got some rando walking through the brewery right now.
That's,
he's not wearing any
these
pants.
rude employees yelling at people.
He's wearing a Slow Pills t-shirt.
They don't even know what's going on.
He's a cool guy, but
he's our
definitely
HVAC
one of the weirdest dudes.
He's a little weird.
Hopefully he listens to this.
He'll be like, he did one this time. I knew him for my other job. Go,
should we interview
Joey,
him?
Is that going to be ready? Whatever,
No.
blah, blah, blah. Are you coming? He's like, does a wet bird fly at night? And I'm like, I still don't know the answer to this question.
This ongoing riddle.
Just mysterious riddles.
Uh-huh.
So, wait, you're excited about Yingling Hershey Porter?
No, I just know that it makes you mad, so I brought it up.
So what do you think? See, so I grew up near Corey, but also I was born in Rhode Island, and I lived there throughout parts of my life.
Gansett, baby.
Gansett
has Gansett.
Gansett did the
Gansett
Dell's Lemonade Shandy, and they also did a
what's
Autocrat
the
coffee
dude, that was the shit.
porter or
Autocrat.
something like that.
All right, coffee porter I can get down on.
Yeah? Not a Dell's Lemonade Shandy? Dell's Lemonade
But
is the
Autocrat's
fucking
like a coffee
shit.
milk thing. It's not.
Oh, it's not like coffee?
It's not coffee.
So coffee milk is a thing in high school that they give you. Dunkin' Donuts owns New England.
No, I knew that.
So they're pushing coffee milk on you at
Fucking
like 8.
Dunkin' kids.
They're like, here, would you chocolate milk, white milk, or would you like a coffee milk? Kids are like, coffee milk? Yeah, I want caffeine. And they start drinking coffee milk.
This is amazing. I know nothing about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, so
Autocrat-
all
yeah,
through
it's a
middle
super
school, high
niche-
school, coffee milk
It's a
is an
super
option.
niche Rhode Island thing that they don't really sell outside of it. And that's the same thing with Dell's Lemonade. They don't sell Dell's Lemonade outside of Rhode Island, I don't think. And Autocrat's the same deal. And like somebody tried to explain it to me the first time, and I'm like, what the fuck? So it's coffee? They're like,
coffee
no,
syrup.
it's coffee milk. So I'm like, so it's a milk company? They're like, no.
It's like
Oh,
chocolate
is
syrup,
that-
but it's coffee flavored. You just mix it in.
Oh, that's different
It's
than
like
the other thing I was thinking.
yellow, red label, black bottle.
Gotcha, that's different than I was thinking. There's this thing in Maine. It's like a coffee
Yeah, did
booze.
Colorado ever have their cheap regional beer?
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
It was just Coors, right? Like that's the
I
thing.
would-
I'm
well,
just,
I
didn't
would
know if there was
say-
something else besides
I would
that.
argue
maybe
Extra
Keystone?
Gold, specifically from Coors. Extra Gold is like,
Extra
that's
Gold's
what I
pretty
drank.
niche.
I drank that shit through high school
What's
and
Extra
college.
Gold?
It's extra good, is what it is.
I mean, I'll take a banquet. I don't want a Coors Light, but if I'm at Coors Field, I will drink banquets.
I'm a sucker for
because
a
they'll
banquet.
bring them to you.
Yeah.
And
I like
you just
banquets.
got to go like this, and they give you another one of those $15 beers.
I mean, if I'm drinking Coors or Bud, I typically go heavy. I don't do the light. But extra gold,
Coors
it
Light's-
was.
They still make it.
They still make it. And it's still super cheap. But it is, I swear,
Because
honestly.
it comes in the 40-ounce capacity.
So how do you feel about Utica Club, though?
It's
I'm a
cans.
sucker for a
It's a
Utica
30
Club.
pack.
You know they have it at Star Bar. It's like I was sitting at
Oh,
Star
there's
Bar
Utica
one day, and
everywhere.
everybody was drinking
Utica
Utica Club, and it blew
Olympia.
my mind because I was like, I've had so many beers from that brewery, but they were Saranaks because they work out of the same brewery.
Yeah.
And now if I try to have a Saranac, I'm like,
Oh, Saranac's
how the fuck
pretty.
did I drink this shit when I was
Pomegranate
21?
There's actually a
when I
lot
was
of
22,
Utica.
Tastes like you
25.
got change in your mouth.
When I
Yeah.
lived in New York, when I lived in Poughkeepsie.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Is that when you were
I
coach?
used to coach college soccer at Vassar.
It's a
The old
hoity-toity school.
Poughkeepsie.
Vassar College. That's where the most elites send their children to school.
Oh yes, it was weird because like all these kids are like, so I played soccer in college.
Yeah.
And I went to state school, went to Asheville, North Carolina, a small Division I school, and we'd play like drug, sex, and rock. We played like dirty games on the bus, right? You get on the bus with these kids, they're like fucking speaking French to one another, and playing like word association games.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know that I fit in here. So
I
much.
always joked.
Anagram game.
I always
Yeah.
joked
I'm
it's
gonna
where
teach
rich
you weird shit.
it's where rich people send their children to become lesbians. Like it's kind of a wild.
Well, they call it the Vassar goggles there because it's a big drama school. So
Yeah.
like like Tom Hanks's kids went there, and like a couple of like famous people went there, and all the girls. Well, it's like 70% female because it was it was a Seven Sisters school, so it was all women until 1969.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
Like Wells. There's a bunch of those in New
Yeah,
York.
like
I feel
Bryn
like.
Mawr, all those like in Connecticut and stuff
I
like
went
that.
to Lemoyne. It was like 65%
You went to
women.
Lemoyne?
I loved it.
But
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
a
a
dolphin,
drama
bro.
It's a drama school, so half those boys were gay, and so you'd see these girls fighting over like the worst dudes. Like
Right, there's only like 7 left.
there's
We
only
gotta
like
fight
7 dudes in the
over.
whole
Yeah, it
school.
was
They
like-
play
They're
sports
banging
like
everybody.
those. Yeah.
The dating pool was so small.
Yeah.
That it was, yeah.
You're like, you guys are fighting over this guy? Like,
just fighting over the last piece of trash.
I had a
Uh-huh.
girlfriend when I went to Lemoyne. It was the worst decision I ever made because, yeah, that's cool.
Going to Lemoyne or the girl from Lemoyne?
Well, paying for Lemoyne still, I will say that, yeah, going to Lemoyne, probably bad, but it's very educational, we'll say. I did learn a lot.
Yeah. But for regional beers, I mean, Utica Club isn't great. It's like way too grainy. Like it just doesn't have like.
There's
an
a
awesome
lot of
flavor to
Utica
it.
Club around, especially
There
in this
is.
neighborhood. And
Our
right now.
friends
Star
own a
Bar, man,
bar.
it blew my
Our
mind.
friends own a bar called Wide Right. That's in that same
Buffalo
neighborhood.
Bar.
Yeah.
I just read about this the other day because I don't know why it showed up on something.
Well, they're fairly new.
Oh, you
It's
know
also
what?
a
I think it
comedy
showed
bar.
up in
It's also a comedy bar.
Uber Eats.
Yeah.
I was like
Just-
looking
it
for
was a
something, and they're like, "Well, we have regional foods." I was like, "What do they got? They got beef on weck. They got
Yeah, they got beef
salt
on weck.
potatoes."
Well-
and they were like, "Yeah, we got wings and chicken finger sub." Oh, it's out. No
The-
chicken finger sub. Sorry.
The issue with
But-
the beef on wick, which you've talked to them about before, is they don't have a reliable source for a Kimmel Wick roll.
rolls.
Yeah.
So that Shawing, the food. There's a Buffalo food
Yeah.
truck too that does salt potatoes, and they do like a garbage plate.
Right,
So
right.
they do not just
love
Buffalo,
beef on
but they
wick.
do. So do I, and I love.
That's a
I've had
Rochester
theirs,
deal.
and it was pretty good. And then the last time I had it, it was they just took like a roll and just covered it in salt and,
Right.
and the caraway
not the
seeds.
same, no.
And it was definitely not.
I used
It
to
was
work
and
at
it
a-
was like
Yeah.
salt overload. It was like
I used to work at a bakery, and they would special order Kimmel Wick rolls.
Kimmel Wick rolls,
Oh,
yeah.
they're so good.
Beef
It's
on
like
wick.
the best. It's one
I
of the
don't
best
even like
sandwiches
horseradish, but I love that
ever.
sandwich.
You know, the roll that might be close to that is there's a German bakery down south called Wimberger's, and they do like a caraway salt, like I call it a salt stick,
Yeah.
but it's a hard roll that has caraway and salt on it. It might be
Cool. I have to point them in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
See if maybe they can make it happen because I love a good beef on wick.
I do love that they named their Bill's bar,
Bar
Wide Right. Yeah, I
it's pretty
mean,
great. Most people don't get it, but if you're inside, it's if you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
they're like, what is that? Finkel
I've
and
had some-
Einhorn? Einhorn and Finkel?
I've had some people say that they're like, oh, they must be a really conservative bar.
Oh,
Like it's a Republicans bar.
sounds like the most boring place
No,
on
I've.
earth.
Well, I mean,
I've
if it's
heard
an
that
upstate
from
New York
them,
bar,
too.
maybe?
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't that hit every time you go home? You're like, when did this place get so much more redneck.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
For anybody that doesn't know, it's a
suburb.
reference to the Bills Super Bowl where the kicker Scott Norwood missed the kick wide right to lose the Super Bowl. So for those that didn't
the
know,
only one they would have won. They went to 3 in a row, and that was the only one they were close at.
So before I forget, my obscure style that would be something I'd hope you guys make, just because I really love it, even though nobody else would buy it, is Baltic Porter.
We
Made a Baltic
have.
Porter.
I fucking love Baltic Porter.
Yeah, actually, you still have a keg of it, right? Because that was an unfiltered one. Oh no,
Tap it.
We used it.
Tap it right now.
No, we used
just
it
tapped
for
it.
I'll keg stand it.
the ho slap down last year, right?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Okay, so
But
that's
yeah.
one that you're.
I would
do you
make
guys
it
do
again.
It has been
annually, or
made.
I will
is
make it again.
It's a good winter one. It's strong and boozy. And tell you the truth, I don't like regular porters, but that is a lot.
Let's
It's-
go.
I
it's
love
a lot
it
smoother.
because it's
Lot
not.
smoother. Yeah,
it's
it's a
not as
lager.
heavy. It's not as heavy as a regular porter, right? It's a little
it's
like
a
more.
lager, so
Yeah, it's a more highly attenuated and just has all of those flavors that you would want
I
out of a
love Baltic
porter.
Porter.
But it has like a caramel sweetness to it too. It's dry. It's crisp. Like it's.
We'll make another one, I promise.
It's the shit.
I've had like a salted Baltic Porter that was really good.
a salty Balti.
Salty balls. Salty balls.
Somebody
Yeah.
assaulted it.
Yeah.
a
They punched her
rotating
in the face.
a rotating tap Baltic porter. That would be fucking tight.
No, should make another Baltic Porter at some point.
We actually
might have,
all of
we might
our
have, but-
so we've been described as painfully true to tradition. Man, that was a tongue twister. I'm surprised I got it out. But
that
so
12%
there's
kicking
been
in, huh?
there's been a write up of that, and that is so like all of our beers, like the Dunkel, its name is Dunkel. The Helles is Helles. The
Right.
Baltic Porter, Baltic Porter.
You're not coming
I
up
think
with
there
fun
was like
names.
there was like one time I think we contemplated naming something else, and then it was just kind of like, nah, whatever. I think it was like a Doppelbock, right? We're like
I'll
trying
name
to
it
think
Doppelbock.
up aiders, because all Doppelbocks are like something aider.
Yeah.
You know, like
ATOR.
masturbator, something like that. You know,
Yeah.
chronic masturbator.
Yeah.
So weed infused Doppelbock. But
I think that's chronic procrastinator.
hey, yeah, that one too. Procrastinator. That's a
Yeah.
fucking. What
It's
was
all,
that?
you know,
It's,
the weed thing still works as long as chronic's
fabulous.
in there. Yeah.
Procrastinate.
Well, we are a big fan of the beer here, obviously, but sometimes we really like to take our guests down a notch. So we both found some reviews online that we're
Yeah,
gonna
I like it.
talk about with you guys, if that's okay. I'll start with this one. This is from 2 years ago. Somebody named Brian.
What is this on? Yep.
This one is a Google review.
Okay.
We have Google, Yelp, and
So the heads up, the Yelp ones are going to be
saved all
great.
the
Yelp and
Untapped
Untapped
ones,
because
so-
I've never read any of those. I do read the Google reviews because they
Okay.
get sent to me, but the Yelp ones, I'm always just like,
yeah.
Fuck Yelp.
Yeah.
you know, it's like I follow by the South Park, like kick them out the door when they say they're Yelpers. You know, like get the fuck out of here.
I think we just got one that's really good. Oh yeah, I like that one.
Oh, you got one for us? Great.
Oh man,
We're
I
into
keep
that.
all these.
Brian, 2 years ago, says they don't have Hefeweizen. Sad
Oh,
face.
I love this.
At the Lagerhouse.
I have a story about this story.
Feels dishonest to
Because-
make a claim to German beer without at least attempting the signature Deutsch beer.
Lagerhouse.
It's the signature German
Lagerhouse,
beer.
fuckface.
And when people think Germany, it's Hefeweizen. So can you please step your fucking game up?
Yeah, seriously.
So you responded, well, somebody here responded, hi,
I
Brian.
I
I'm so
responded.
sorry you feel that
Hit
we are
me.
being dishonest. However, if you look at our name, you can understand why. Lagerhouse or House of Lager. We don't make ales that would go directly against what we claim to be. Hefeweizen is an ale, not a lager. So it'd actually be more dishonest to make one of them than not. Cheers.
You should have started it with TBH. To be honest.
That
To be
was-
honest.
My
That
mom
was-
was here that day.
That was Sass City, by the way.
Yeah,
That was a
I mean,
sassy
you know.
response.
My
Something
mom
about the
was
attitude,
here,
right?
My mom was here this day working downstairs, and this guy walks in. I feel set up by this whole review to begin with because he walks up the stairs, gets to the first platform. Ooh, can I have a Bills? Thank you.
Can I have a Hellies as well? Thank you.
Why do you, Steve? You always call it Hellies.
Yeah, that's the Colorado accent, dude.
Is it? Or is it you mispronouncing things?
And if you're wondering what that accent is, it's
can I
white.
Do, I'll do a Dunkel, please.
It's Colorado, man.
But
Shit.
the
Dude,
guy
Cal.
walks halfway upstairs, and he yells really loudly, "This place better have a Hefeweizen." And my
What?
mom goes,
Who does that?
And my mom goes, actually, we only make lager. And he goes, fuck this place. And he walks down the stairs. He doesn't even go upstairs at all or
Right.
nothing. So, That's why I had to write the snarky remark back.
Yeah,
Well,
no, this
there's-
is
I feel
good.
set up by the
That's
whole
quality
thing.
right
Oh,
there.
okay. So I didn't put this together until now, but it looks like Brian has multiple accounts.
Oh, yeah.
So 2
Yeah,
years
Brian.
ago, Brian leaves another review, 1 star. By the
Thanks,
way, his last
Brian.
name is Schuster, if you really want to know. Brian Schuster says, not even a German restaurant doesn't even carry German beer. Quote unquote, we don't have Hefeweizen. Well, then you have picked an absolutely horrible name for your restaurant.
Why
Which,
does
at
he-
that point, the restaurant was named Rack House, so that's even more fucking
Why
confusing.
the fuck does this guy love Hefeweizen so much? Why
I need
does
a banana in my ass right now.
Why does some person love Hefeweizen so much
Loves it.
that they're willing to dog and give a bad review to a brewery because they don't have
Oh,
it?
people are willing to give a bad review constantly. That's why I don't read the Yelp ones, because those are you. 1 out of 20 is going to be a good review on Yelp. Now on Google and those, on Facebook or whatever, like I feel like those are a little more honest. It's like weird because it's more trackable, I think, and that's why like somebody trashes you in a Facebook review, then your fans see it, and when your fans see it, they're like, "Fuck you, guy! You're an idiot. You don't know shit. It's a lager house."
Yeah.
So you don't even usually have to respond when it's like a Facebook review. You're just like,
Right.
"I'm gonna sit back and watch how this plays out," and it's played out gloriously.
Yeah, throw
like
up the Michael
every
Jackson
fucking time.
meme and just see how it goes.
What's the Michael Jackson?
It's the Michael Jackson gif where it's just him eating popcorn in a comment
yeah,
section.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so this one's an Untapped review. It's not a bad review per se. It's just kind of confusing, and I think speaks a little bit to what you guys do here. So it's for Smoke Tell Us. Your smoky favorite beers. It was 3.5 on Untapped.
Pretty good for a lager.
Yeah, not bad. Lost every match, not round match of Street Fighter 2 except one. Do you guys have Street Fighter 2 here?
No.
Well, you used to.
Oh, yeah, we had it on the Super Nintendo up on
Yeah.
the
Okay.
projector. Wait
Add
a minute, we got a
ladder-
negative review because he sucks at video
Add
games?
ladder golf to that, like our first date. So you got a bad review about your beer because this guy had a bad
No,
first date.
that guy thinks 3.5 is good. That's
yeah.
the difference, too, is that people just don't understand
No,
rating systems either.
And that's
Insert
mine.
tape measure.
This is
2.
This is from 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Freshies.
Fresh.
Was it the
Yes,
homeless guy?
Yes.
No, I wish.
Un-American.
Feels weird. It's 4.25 or 4.1 or whatever it is. It's a pretty high score. Feels weird giving a lager this high a rating, but these guys are the best of the best.
What the fuck does that mean?
So what did he give you?
Best of the best.
4.25. Feels weird giving.
I mean, I wouldn't say
But
it's
these
a
guys
bad
are the
review.
best of the best.
Yeah, but he had to say that, like, only good reviews are available for hazy IPAs?
Well,
I
that's
guess
the
so.
point.
That's
Is
what
like
it
it's the best of the best, like best of the best. So it's not
and it's
the
still
full
not a
5.
5.
Yeah, so it's not a full 5.
Uh-huh.
So what is it you're... Yeah, so
He
what
was
is
looking
it
for an
you're
IPA.
looking for?
That's what he was looking for. He was
People
looking for
are
an IPA.
fucking
Candy to go
worse.
home.
If you're not making a hazy IPA, a pastry stout, or a smoothie sour, you're just, like, dead to Untapped people. And it's lame as fuck.
Somewhat.
That's all right.
I
I don't
fucking
go
hate it.
to your work and slap the dick out of your mouth. Like
That's. I mean, if you go to a comedy show, you might see. We might have to come up to one of us, but that's a pretty solid like comedy response too. It's
Yeah.
like I don't come to your job and talk shit, but
yeah.
I have a review here, and I love this review so much, and I have to make it very obvious that this review is 6 months old. This is an important factor. Okay, 6 months ago.
6 months ago.
So that puts us at
Beginning
Right,
of COVID.
right at COVID.
right in the middle of COVID,
Right.
during the middle of the shutdown, beginning of April. From Andrew B on Yelp, so you all know this one.
Oh, I don't know.
The food and beer was quite good. Sorry, 1 star. The food and beer was quite good. But the management of Bierstadt Lagerhouse does not have a great understanding of the significance of historic events as they are unfolding in real time. Again, 6 months ago. The management apparently believes sheeple, would rather listen to 1990s Radiohead and Blind Melon than watch the Cubs win the 2016 NLCS.
Wait, so you got a bad review
So-
for watching ESPN Classics as opposed to...
For not watching
For no,
ESPN.
for not.
This is
So,
amazing. I don't know this review.
so I will say that one of our policies here is if it's not Colorado sports, we don't give a fuck. So like when people would show up on Saturday, college
Yeah.
sports fans are the fucking worst. And as somebody who grew up in Syracuse, like college basketball is the only thing that gets you through the winter. So like I loved it, but college football fans, there's just something about it where they're just like they're very high demanding. if you don't change it to their game right away, they're like, whoa, we're just going to leave. You're like, you 4 assholes being really loud and annoying everybody else here are going to leave.
That sounds great.
You want to watch the 2016 Cubs?
So there's one.
Keep going.
I asked multiple times to turn on the audio for this watershed moment while it happened,
Fuck off.
but was told it would anger their customer base, possibly a bunch of rhino robots. Well, this Johnny Five ain't taking it. I'd expect this kind of behavior out of a Cracker Barrel.
This guy went way above and beyond.
But this cracker won't be drinking any more beer out of Bierstadt Lagerhouse barrels.
That's bullshit. He came back the next day.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah, I mean,
I had
because
to
he
get one
said
of
the
those.
beer and
That's
the food was
amazing.
great.
That
I'm
is pretty
not that one.
amazing.
6 months ago, he wrote that. From
So why do you
We
hate the
had
Cubs?
one once that was like, somebody complained, they were like, what the? There was like a dumpster, like one of those, like almost like a shipping container dumpster type thing, like somewhere.
Yeah, roll off.
Yeah, and
roll
so
off. Yeah.
like somebody had wrote on it. Somebody had wrote on it like free kombucha, and there was like an arrow or
Towards
something,
us?
and like not even. I don't think it was even towards us, but whatever. Like somebody came in and they wrote us a bad review. It was like there wasn't free kombucha, like some other, like the most random shit. It was like there was like
We were promised free booch.
super random comments, and we were like,
duck fart fries.
oh,
That
the
was
duck fart fries. Yeah, duck fart fries, duck fart fries. He like wrote it 3 times, and
Yeah.
we're like,
The
because we
confit.
used to have duck fat fries, and but it's duck fart fries, duck fart
But he
fries.
autocorrected 3
Duck
different
fart fries
times.
didn't even taste like duck farts or something,
Yeah,
and then there wasn't even free kombucha. And we were like, how is this a real fucking review? Like, and you can't erase
That's
those
so-
things.
no,
you
you
got to
can't.
leave
They're
it.
out
So
there.
His
you're
drugs
like,
are cool, man.
well, there's a 1-star review about duck fart fries and kombucha, which we have neither of. So
Ashley, I have a review I'd like you to read. Knowing a little bit more about your past now. Thank you so much. Hellas, yes.
the top
this
one?
is Michaela.
Yeah, the
ladies
top
and
one.
gentlemen.
Yeah, the top
Hey,
one.
She's a Cardinals
Michaela,
fan.
you can wave at the
Michaela.
camera if you want.
Please, just read
All right,
it.
all right.
Yeah.
3 stars. Kamar Rocks, probably not even a real name. ROXS.
You know, it comes from the Rocks family, same as the Bagsbys.
Perfect. My main gripe about this place is the pricing. $6 for a beer that's made in the same location. Get over yourselves.
Ah,
on
shit.
top of that,
Yeah,
a
you
small
highbrow
pot of
pieces
Mac
of
for
shit.
almost $20, depending on which one. Again, get over yourselves. When there's a bar not even 5 blocks away that sells pitchers for $8, I think I know the obvious choice. Dry Dock is cheaper at their brewery, and it's better.
Oh, that's good.
That's great.
That's a good one for her to read.
That's a whole-
I have read that one before because I remember being like, $6 for a beer at a brewery, huh? First time at a fucking brewery, or what's going on
Yeah,
here?
that's the same price as the Dry Dock thing. It sounds like somebody from
We
Dry
have a-
Dock that was upset that you left, and they were like, we could get way better
Yeah.
experience.
Well, it's just
at Dry
crazy
Dock.
because this is like an actual half liter. Like it's 16.9 ounces to like right here. You get like 20 ounces of beer here. Like
Yeah.
it's not a cheater shaker pint.
Right.
And
yeah,
if you do-
absolutely. Yeah.
I love it.
For the
$6
pitcher,
for a beer. Like
That's
go
totally
to LA,
different
man.
Method of drinking.
Yeah.
This isn't Utica Club.
Also, there is no brewery. There's a bar that serves pitchers for $8, but there's no brewery I have ever been to that even does pitchers.
Well,
The
that's why
fact
I
that
wanna
we
start
do
a brewery.
liters, is there? I've never been to one. I've
But
never
barely any.
seen.
And that's only since COVID, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, even that's kind of a weird approach on it too. It's like
I
you're
mean,
not
to-
supposed to share things. Here, we're gonna do a picture now.
To be fair, you've had about 2 pitchers of Dunkel since we started the podcast.
Hey, I've only had one of these so far. This is the second one. It's Drink a Liter with Chuck Sunday every Sunday. I did my own
Oh, we
little
didn't
stream.
realize we're doing cross promotion.
Yeah, well,
here.
I'm gonna share this, right? You guys are gonna.
You're going to share it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I meant to do that before, so we were just streaming from our page too, but I fucked that one up.
We're not streaming. This is
Oh,
just
okay.
recording.
Oh, it's
Now we're
recorded.
good.
Okay.
So
In
before
case
we,
I say something that upsets you guys, we don't want it to.
before we get out of here, I do have one question about the beer selection that you guys do, because it's 3 beers all the time, mostly.
Right.
And Pils and Helles are fairly similar styles. Okay, you shrug. So, like, I guess my question is, 2 lighter German lager, traditional German lager styles that are, in my mind, they're not, of course they're not exactly the same, but they're very similar. If you're only doing 3 things, like, why do 2 things that are, like, that close together?
Because I don't think they are that close. I think
Yeah.
like just because the color is similar to them. I don't know. Nobody asks why you have like 10 IPAs and one of them
Right.
Citra, Mosaic,
I do all the
Azacca.
time. I do.
Well, good. That's great then. Finally. They're very different. They serve very different purposes, and their serving styles are very different too, which I think that one comes in a half liter. I recommend drinking it in a liter, that size. And this one is a much more delicate beer, so it only comes in this size. And they're meant to be two very different things. So especially like in the Pils style, it's supposed to be, it's like your finest hops, the most bitter beer that, like Germans do. The little doily, like the how it's presented and everything, whereas Helles is just like beer drinking beer. And they serve two very different purposes, which is why we only serve this in this glass. And one time a year you can get it in a liter. On our brew-anniversary, it's the anniversary of our June 12th of our brewery, that you can get liters of Pils, but we pour it slow. You get like a
everybody in
softball
the
on
industry comes that day. It's funny, like everybody in the industry is like, oh fuck, I can finally get a liter of Pils. Like, yeah, it's gonna take about 9 minutes to pour it, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah. It will happen though, but that's.
And then it's like,
two very different purposes. Like they are very similar in color and everything.
No, that's great. That's the answer I was looking
for. So yeah, the Helles is all malt. You know what I mean? It's got that sweetness to it.
Sure.
Yeah. Whereas that has that hop presence in it. That, I was saying that I don't drink Pils when I'm in the building. I don't drink Helles. I always just drink Dunkel when I'm here, or Martin when Martin's on. Or we did a single Bock before. I drink that. I'll drink Doppelbock. I was doing Eisbock, Dunkel.
Dude, I'm stoked for an Eisbock. As soon as that's released, I want to know about it.
Yeah, I mean, we did the Eisbock before, but now it's going to be an Eisbock BFL, so that's going to be a little different.
Quick
it's going to be even more.
For anybody that doesn't know what an Eisbock is.
Balls.
Yeah, it's basically freeze. It used to be illegal, but because it's considered phase.
Which are the best things in life?
Because it's considered phase change by, phase
not
change,
normal
alcohol
methods.
by phase change.
Yeah.
Just like our government, shapeshifters.
Yes.
Illuminati, lizard people.
So you freeze part of it, and what happens is the water freezes first, so it leaves a more concentrated beer behind.
Like when you would put beers out, like you'd be at a house party, and there'd be so much snow on the back deck, and you would throw some beers.
So if I put a Keystone Ice
pull it out and
in a snowbank,
an icy Keystone Ice,
it'd be stronger beer. That's essentially the same concept.
So I was making Eisbock in college, essentially.
Yeah.
With Labatt Blue, believe it or not.
Icebox.
Labatt Ice. We're icebocking Labatt Ice.
Molson Triple X.
It's really concentrating the grossness.
Remember this.
But it does. It concentrates everything though. So like even the malt, like if you did that to this, where I said you don't get those like dried fruit notes in this Dunkel because of that Pils malt in there. If you did that and you froze some of the water out of this, it would concentrate it more. You would taste a little bit more of those notes.
Right.
So like when we did it to the Doppelbock had like some of those dried fruit notes to it, but when they made an Eisbock out of it, it was like, boom, there they are. But it's also got that boozy part to it too, so that kind of masks some of it too.
We will actually have real Eisbock, not just Ice BFL, but we'll have Eisbock too, because we're making Doppelbock
right now,
so we'll make Eisbock out of Doppelbock. I was
But
gonna
we'll
get a
do the
freeze.
Ice
I was
BFL
gonna get
before,
I was gonna get a freeze tank, but COVID.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make ice beer on the regular.
Should make Eisbock popsicles.
I love it.
We were talking about doing like freezy pops when they changed all the rules on like what you could sell to go and all that other shit. It's like, why don't we do fucking daiquiri and put it in a little,
I love those. I'm a sucker for those at the liquor store.
Yeah.
Freezy pop that shit. I mean, we have slushies now, so we have daiquiri slushies right now.
That's pretty tight. Like push pop action, like the Flintstones push pops.
Yeah, you gotta get yogurty then. We're gonna need some of
Yeah,
that
so runny.
lactose.
Yeah, so
Gotta
terrible.
put some lactose in there to get that real Flintstones push pop vibe.
Yeah. Well, we just started doing a comedy night with you guys, which we're really excited about.
Yeah,
the first one went very well.
Yep.
Why did you guys want to start doing more comedy stuff here? And how do you think the first event went?
Yeah, I mean the first event went great. I mean we did comedy before. Like, obviously the ones that the reason why I connected with you guys because I contacted Christy, and she connected me to you guys. Yeah, Christy Buckley. Actually, I was gonna wear my Pussy Bros shirt today, and then I was like, it's gonna be hot on my bike ride here. It was like 80. It was over 80 again today out of nowhere. So I didn't want to wear the all black, black, And it's it's also one of those shirts that every time I wear it, everybody wants to talk to me about it. Because not even the fact that it says Pussy Bros, just there's cats on it, and they're like, there's cats on it, I love it. And you're like, yeah, it's a comedy group, and they're like, I can fucking care less. I just like the cats.
Just like the cats.
Well, fuck you then. But yeah, so I mean, we did that here, and it was great. I mean, I feel like we did it on a weird night. It was like Monday nights when we were doing their thing here. And it was tough. I mean, we were trying to do it. We were giving them a beer and doing a $5 cover, and like you get a free beer with it. So essentially, it was a wash. If people were sitting upstairs, it was like going upstairs is $6 for a beer. You can pay $5, you get a free beer. You know what I mean? Like, and you get a comedy show. And it was just tough on Monday, I think, especially at that time where we were at. It was before we had picked up more business too. And so, I mean, we got that patio out there. We got room, and they extended the patio into next year, through October next year. Nice. Obviously, during the middle of the winter, it's going to be, we can't do anything out there. We're going to have to figure out what we can
I think we can make something work in here for sure.
Yeah, I think so too, especially because the upstairs is going to be open. So we can distance tables down here. It doesn't matter because we can still sit tables upstairs. Yeah. They're going to be behind you, but they can still hear it.
Well, I'm just looking forward to working with you guys more because you're a Denver institution. You make some of the best beer around, and it's just a great vibe here. It's a great spot.
The last one.
I'm really excited.
I was brewing that
Tuesday night, and here's a good shameless plug, and this will be out in time for this. It comes out. So this is Sunday. The podcast episode comes out Monday morning.
Okay.
Tuesday night is the next show with headliner, one of my favorite comedians of all time, hands down, top 10 comics of my favorite is Ben Roy is headlining. So very, very exciting. Hometown dude. So funny. So fucking funny.
Oh, he's from here in Denver?
Yeah, he's from here.
I think he's from Maine originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But,
he's from Maine, but he's been here a long time.
His comedy's from here.
He's the lead singer of the band Spells, which is kind of like a Denver institution. He's a member of the Growlix, which is also a Denver thing. They all worked, produced, wrote Those Who Can't, which was a true TV show for a couple years. So
one of you just did or did both of you do a show this weekend? You at the other comedy club?
I was over at Denver Comedy Lounge this weekend, so shout out to Ben Kronberg and the guys down there that are doing fun stuff.
Wait a minute. Ben Kronberg?
Yeah.
He hosts that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Kronberg hosts it.
So I saw one of his things like years ago when I still lived in New York, and he did like a special where he like pulled out his phone at first.
Oh yeah.
And he's like sitting there, and everybody's like getting real antsy, and he's just kind of like doing like the 20-year-old thing right now.
Yeah, he's
you know what that was?
And he's like, oh, what? You guys get to work right away when you get
you know what that was? Was Last Comic Standing, and Roseanne Barr was.
It was like all fart jokes. It's like all poop and fart jokes. I was on a date. She was at my house, and we were watching it, and it was all poop and fart jokes. It was like a little uncomfortable at first, and then we were both like fucking crying. That guy is hilarious.
Yeah, Ben's awesome.
He's awesome.
He's doing a good thing. So, in conjunction with Colorado Sake Company, they're running Denver Comedy Lounge out of the back of it.
On my way home. That's how I knew about this comedy club. Is I rode my bike on the way home, and I heard Chrissy Buckley while I was riding my bike home, and I was like, Chrissy! And then I just kept riding.
And then she bombs.
She gets distracted. Sandy, the Banshee thing, distracted her before.
And then we had a show at Halfpenny.
Hey, they heard me talking about it.
On cue.
I had a show. We had Rotating Tap had a show at Halfpenny Brewing last night. It was pretty good. A lot of interesting crowd work at that one. It was a fun time. But we do have some upcoming Rotating Tap shows too.
Yeah.
Here Tuesday. We're at Flyco on Wednesday. We're at Landlocked Tales on the 16th.
We've got another show in the works with Epic Brewing Company down here as well.
And potentially another show with Outworld Brewing in Longmont, Colorado.
That place is kooky. Have you heard of Outworld? Have you heard of Outworld?
But I've not been.
Oh,
the whole thing
one,
is like
right?
it's sci-fi themed. The whole thing looks like a spaceship. It's kind of it's wild. Yeah.
It's wild. All right. And then we have an episode coming out with them soon too. So stay tuned for that. Is there anything you guys want to plug here?
I mean, tonight we got movie night. We always do movie nights on
Is that
Sunday.
every-
This will be out 12 hours too late.
It's
But
all right.
every
We do it
every
every
Sunday?
Sunday. This one's Adam's Family. Next week, we're doing like the spooky ones for October. So next week is Rocky Horror Picture Show, Ghostbusters for the following week, and then but we do live music every Thursday out in the same spot you guys are doing the comedy. I have it set up. It's funny, we took some of those tables and moved them upstairs because we're planning on opening the upstairs, so we shifted some of the tables, which was kind of cool for music. We just moved everything down, which I meant to tell you. There's only 18 tables outside now instead of 25, I think we have.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know.
But
We
I think I
basically were
said
maxed out
21
on
before.
reservations. It's just that we're all two tops.
Right. It happens. Unfortunately, yeah. If that was something, I wish
If it's
kind
a
of we
two-top,
could
you should
fix
just get. I'm still on board for just getting a bunch of like TV dinner trays, And you just
Put them out there with a chair.
yeah, put them out there with a chair. If you're a 2-top or a 1-top, like that's what you get.
Go to Target.
No, just get real like TV trays. Be like, here's your TV tray. Take it with you. You can set up in this area.
Yeah.
Eat your schnitzel.
Well,
What-
I have to be
what
very bad.
Grandma Elsa always said, "Eat your schnitzel."
Anything
Anything else you guys?
Beer fest where
I
she's
don't
like tossing sausage.
Oh yeah, you gotta. Oh. All right, Steve's gonna peace out.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna so long everybody.
Yeah, thanks for doing the podcast. I gotta go. Bye.
Easy, easy.
Yeah, no worries.
You don't buy beer, you rent it.
So what's the next after Oktoberfest? You guys got anything coming up? Doppelbock.
Yeah, December
Iceberg.
21st.
Just
Tight,
food, so
tight,
good.
tight.
But we're almost out of Oktoberfest. We're out of it on draft. So come get it in cans.
Come
It's
in
hot.
cans
There's no
before
such
it's
thing as
gone.
November.
It's delicious. It's so
Yeah,
good. Everything you guys
definitely
do is great. You got your events plugged out of the way, right?
Yeah, live music. I do bingo on Friday nights. I host it from 5 to 7. You know, bring your grandma. I'm into her.
And he will be in her, into her, and into your grandma.
Be a new
That's
granddad.
that's the way life goes. You'd be a great granddad if you were around giving me Hershey
You like
bars.
some
every once in a while.
butterscotch?
Yeah.
Werther's.
Werther's. If you were around handing me out Werther's when I was a kid, boy, that would be pretty
Those
fun.
shitty strawberry candies that
Oh, I
look like
love. Oh,
strawberry.
they're not shitty.
They
Don't
are
talk-
shitty.
No, they are the best.
They're like a Luden's cough drop
They
without
got
the
like
flavor.
the jizzy stuff on the inside.
It's all about the jizzy stuff. That's a great place to end.
We all got the
Thank
jizzy
you
stuff on the
guys
inside.
so
Thank
much
you.
for being on the show. Love you.
Yeah,
Look
thanks for
forward to
having
working
us.
with you more. And see
Come
ya.
Tuesday. Come Tuesday. See these guys get it done.
Done.